Imagine being taken to a doctor's office, a place meant for healing, trust, and safety, and leaving with trauma that would follow you for years. For one family in Maryland, that nightmare became reality, and at the center of it was a man who wore a white coat, held medical credentials, and convinced those around him that he was helping children, when prosecutors say he was doing the exact opposite. This is the story of Ernesto Cesar Torres. Torres was a pediatrician who practiced medicine for decades. To parents, he appeared calm, educated, and authoritative, the kind of doctor you trusted with your child's well-being. His career gave him access to families at their most vulnerable moments, when they were seeking answers, reassurance, and professional guidance. But behind that professional image, investigators say Torres was hiding something far darker. The case that ultimately brought him down began quietly, without public attention or headlines. Like many abuse cases, it started with a child trying to make sense of something that felt wrong, and an adult finally listening. According to court records, Torres was accused of sexually abusing an 11-year-old female patient during medical appointments. The abuse did not involve sudden violence or force. Instead, prosecutors said it relied on manipulation, authority, and fear. What made the case especially disturbing was the explanation Torres allegedly gave to justify his actions. Authorities say Torres told the child and reinforced to others that she was possessed by demonic entities. He claimed these supposed entities caused her to lie, disobey, or behave improperly, and that his actions were necessary to address this imagined problem. This wasn't a one-time statement. Investigators say the idea of demonic possession became part of a pattern, a psychological tool used to confuse, intimidate, and silence. In court, prosecutors described this tactic as calculated and deeply abusive. By framing the child as unreliable or spiritually corrupted, Torres allegedly attempted to undermine her credibility before she could ever speak out. For years, the truth remained hidden. Like many victims of abuse, especially children, the victims struggled with fear, confusion, and shame. Abuse that occurs under the guise of authority can be incredibly difficult to process, let alone report. When the person responsible is a doctor, someone trained to help, the betrayal cuts even deeper. Eventually, concerns reached law enforcement. When investigators began digging into Torres' background and practices, they found enough evidence to bring charges. The case moved slowly, deliberately, as prosecutors built their argument and ensured the child's testimony would be handled with care. Torres was arrested and formally charged. He pleaded not guilty. During the trial, the defense attempted to argue that the accusations were false, that the child had been influenced, mistaken, or unreliable. That argument, however, was directly undermined by Torres' own statements and conduct. Jurors heard testimony about the demonic possession claims and how they were used to explain away allegations of abuse. Prosecutors argued that this was not religious belief, but manipulation, an attempt to deflect blame and discredit a child. Medical experts testified about proper pediatric boundaries. Mental health professionals explained how authority figures can exert control over children, especially in clinical environments. And investigators walked the jury through timelines, statements, and evidence that painted a consistent picture. After deliberation, the jury reached a verdict. Ernesto Cesar Torres was found guilty of sexually abusing an 11-year-old patient. In December, he returned to court for sentencing. By that point, he was 74 years old. The courtroom was tense as the judge addressed the seriousness of the crime. Sexual abuse of a child, especially by a medical professional, is considered among the most severe violations of trust under the law. The judge emphasized that Torres had abused not only a child, but his position, his training, and the faith families placed in him. Torres was sentenced to 30 years in prison. For many observers, the sentence sent a clear message. Age, education, and professional status do not protect someone from accountability. Prosecutors described the sentence as necessary not only for punishment, but for public safety. They noted that abuse committed under medical authority can be especially damaging because victims are conditioned to obey and trust. The case also triggered broader conversations within the medical community. Hospitals and licensing boards reviewed policies related to patient safety, reporting mechanisms, and oversight. Advocates stressed the importance of teaching children that no adult, including doctors, is above boundaries or beyond questioning. For survivors, the outcome was bittersweet. No sentence can undo trauma. No verdict can restore lost innocence. But for the victim and her family, the conviction offered something crucial: validation. In many abuse cases, survivors are doubted, blamed, or dismissed. Here, the legal system acknowledged the harm and held the offender responsible. The case also highlighted how abusers sometimes weaponize belief systems, spiritual, medical, or psychological, to silence victims. By claiming supernatural explanations, Torres allegedly attempted to shift focus away from his own actions. Experts say this tactic is not uncommon. When authority figures feel threatened, they may introduce confusion, fear, or self-doubt to maintain control. For children, that manipulation can be especially powerful. Today, Torres is incarcerated. His medical license is no longer a shield. His authority is gone, his explanations rejected. But the story doesn't end in a courtroom. Cases like this remind us that abuse doesn't always look like what we expect. It can wear professional clothing. It can speak calmly. It can hide behind credentials and confidence. They also remind us of the importance of listening, especially when a child speaks up, because sometimes the most dangerous people aren't strangers in the dark. They're the ones society taught us never to question. And justice, while never perfect, still matters.